Hello everybody, John Druger 12 back here again with another video. Now obviously, if you read the description and the titles, then obviously this is my personal thoughts on the series finale of Breaking Bad. Now, prior to making this, I was just thinking about just doing like the last 8 episodes of this series. Just start with all 7, my 2 cents on them, and then get to the finale. But seeing as how I don't want to ramble like I'm doing now for like the next hour or so, I think it would be better just to get to the point, what's really important, which is the finale. And, which I have to say, really went out with a bang. I know everybody's been saying it on the internet right now, but it's true. If you have not seen the finale, obviously, 1, this is going to contain spoilers, so don't watch. And 2, if you did not see the finale, then you need to fuck off because this video does not concern you. Now, I'm going to get into my personal thoughts. First off, I kind of thought Bryan Cranston, like methodically coming up with all the pieces to the puzzle of like how to lay out and just end this was great. I mean, Bryan Cranston throughout this series has done a perfect job creating the character, but I think with this finale, he kind of like, it was like the first time where I felt, I know he said this before, but I feel like the finale is like the first time I ever felt like he was in control at all times throughout this episode. Because every single shot and time he's on camera, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a step ahead of everybody, and he accomplishes his goal. Now obviously the ultimate goal is to, you know, give his money to his family, but how do you do that? Because obviously everybody knows if he gives the fucking money to his family, first they're not going to take it, and second the police will fucking take it. So he comes up with this elaborate plan to fucking get in the same place as his co-workers at Gray Matter to get them to give Skyler the money, but seeing as how they also are reluctant to work with him after hearing everything, they first deny him, but then, like Heisenberg or Walter White, whichever way you want to go with it, he obviously have thought of everything and has already known that they probably would deny it, so I'm going to have some insurance on this. So he gets Badger and Skinny, Pete, to fucking play as assassins with stupid laser pins, like if they're snipers, which I thought was A, hysterical, and B, ingenious. It's like, you don't want to do it? Okay, well then I have to kill you. It's simple, but funny because he used them. And you would think that, at that point you were thinking like, how the fuck did he get anybody to work with him? But no, it's just Jesse's lackeys or friends, or whatever you want to call it as well. The episode goes on from there. They reluctantly agree, but at the end of the day, that one goal is accomplished. Because throughout the entire series, if you've watched Breaking Bad, then you obviously know that the whole goal was to make sure that before he dies, his money that he's made goes to them. And I think it's like over less than 10 or 20 mil. I think, I don't really remember. I saw it last night, so I can't. But I know it had to be under $20 million that he's going to leave to them. But it's true. I mean, like, he wanted to accomplish that, and he did. Although it obviously didn't pan out as planned throughout what has happened, and also did not give him the full picture because the Nazis took the rest of the money. The Aryan Brotherhood, you know, Todd's family and gang took the money, so he kind of got himself screwed. But the episode goes on from there. Walt decides that he needs to get back in town. You know, the clips that we've seen in prior season, prior episodes of Walt, you know, old Walt version, we finally find out what those scenes mean and how they play out together, and they're in the episode actually. He gets the rice and he gets the gun. We've seen that before already. But what he's going to use it for? Like, who's the ricin going to get to? What's the gun for? Obviously, after the past couple episodes, we've realized that most likely he's going to use that gun to kill Todd and his family. his gang. But how's he going to do that? Because, I mean, like, logically thinking as a fan, you would think that by the time he gets there, they would shoot his ass before he even gets to them with that gun. But, like, Walt, being the genius that he is, he's just in the desert, like creating, like, this so-called device. I don't know what the fuck it was. It was some weird, like, clocking device. I don't know what the fuck it was. But he's in the desert creating that stupid little thing, and then we find out later what it's used for, but I'm going to get to that in a sec. But, what, is discovered, obviously, and everybody is panicking, like, where's Walt, where's Walt, because it's all over the news, everybody knows that Walt's in town, and by the time anybody realizes this, he's already in Skylar's house, new house, the apartment, before Walt Jr. gets there, and they have like this really, I want to say depressing, but at the same time it felt really like logical to happen, because it's like he knows he good. I like to think that throughout this entire episode, why Walt was so in control of everything that happened throughout the episode is because he knew he was going to die. It was kind of like that Spartacus complex. It was like, I know I'm going to die, but whether or not I win or lose, I'm going to die today. And I can't change that. You know, that's how I felt as a fan of what happened. You know, because, I mean, like, it's foreshadowing. I mean, like, throughout the entire series, you watch it, you know there's a lot of foreshadowing throughout the series, but with this finale, you got the feeling that you knew automatically he will die, regardless of what you feel. And I felt like I wanted him to go free, but at the same time, you got the feeling of, like, he's just such a douche. He just wanted to die. It's just great acting with Brian. Like, he just did a great job. Like, I like this. I said this on the podcast, but like, Brian really stepped up his asshole level. It's like the last couple episodes, he like really, I can't even look at him anymore because he just stepped up that asshole level. But with this finale, he was really like calm, collected, and really like I'm gonna do this. This is how it's gonna go. But beforehand, getting to Skylar's new apartment, he meets up with Lydia and Todd, where they're having like their stupid little get-together in a coffee shop or whatever the fuck, and he has this really simple conversation with them, and you know, like, it's not really going anywhere because they don't give a shit what he says, and he looks like shit, he looks like just like a hobo. But then he leaves, and they have this conversation like, what, we're really gonna trust him? And Lydia's like, no, and then she pulls down the sugar, and then you have this really good looking shot of like close up of the tea or coffee, whatever, with the sugar just sinking in of the fucking cup, and you think like, oh shit, the ricins for her. And I heard someone say that before on YouTube about like, oh, the ricins for Lydia, fuck that bitch. And I thought like, really, the ricin? Come on, somebody more of an important status. But Lydia really got the ricin. Just to see her go, it doesn't really affect me as a fan because her character throughout the series, throughout the series that she's in, like, I think she was only, what, one season? Plus this finale? So her character, no offense to the actress, but her character was never really that important, even though she's the reason why Walt's meth, iconic meth, is, you know, fucking sold overseas around the world outside of Albuquerque. But at the end of the day, like, her character wasn't that much important, nor was it important to me as a fan, so I was like, okay, she can take the rice and fuck her. But then he meets up with Skylar and has this really deep conversation, and I know a lot of people like to give Anna Gunn shit, you know, they like to give her shit, like call her a bitch and a cunt, but at the same time, it's like, throughout film history, or even television history, like, throughout the whole time, there have always been, like, an iconic or an important cunty wife, if I would say. So it doesn't really bother me that much, but at the same time, I have to give Anna props because she really did an important job at playing Skylar throughout the series. But with the last couple episodes, like everybody else who's in the cast, she really stepped up her game. Like, every award, like the Emmy, award, and like every award she does end up getting, she deserves, because she did an amazing job as Skylar, and she's an amazing actress. She really stepped up her game this time around, and she did amazingly. And I think her last moments on screen in this episode is amazing. And her conversation with Watt, her last conversation with Watt, is really like, you kind of get feelings of like they still don't trust each other, but at the same time they still have that love, and they are saying goodbye for the last time. And Watt just throws down all his cards. He tells her that, you know, he gives her the coordinates of where Hank and Gomez are buried, and goes on his way. But I think what was most important throughout the entire episode, which I was hoping would be in there, and I got it, was when Watt discloses his true feelings about the whole situation. Because right before he says why he did what he did, Skylar already knows, like, oh, this is a fucking lie, fuck you. But he actually tells the truth. Like, he didn't do this for the fucking thing. He did this for himself. And I love that moment because it's true. I mean, like, as a fan, and as all fans have said, and I'm not denying this is not true, like, watching the entire series from beginning to end is a transformation of a good guy turned bad, but or break bad, whichever. But I like to think Watt was always Heisenberg. Watt did not become Heisenberg, he was Heisenberg. It's just the cancer and everything that happened just brought it out of him. You know, it's kind of like the Batman complex. Like, Batman is the true face that people fear. Bruce Wayne is the mask. You know, he died when his parents died. Like, Bruce Wayne does not exist. He's just the facade. He's the mask. He's what people see as the fake hero. But Batman is his true face. That's what I like to think with Watt. Watt is the mask. Heisenberg is what people really see, but never really saw because they wanted to believe different. But at the same time, I have to say that it's all fake at the end. He didn't do this for his family, he did this for himself, and it was selfish, and he admitted it, and I think it was just a beautiful moment. And I have to give Vince a lot of credit with that scene because it's hands down my favorite scene of the entire finale. It's just beautiful shot, beautifully written, beautifully acted. Like, I don't know what the fuck Vince had to do to get his crew to like really bring like the ringer right out of him, but everybody did a top job, especially with this finale. And I have to give especially a lot of credit to Vince, Brian, and Anna because they did a wonderful job with that specific scene alone. But going on from there, Walt decides that it's the end of the road. He has to face, you know, Todd and his gang and see what the fuck's going on with Jesse because he hears that his iconic blue meth is still being sold, so he obviously knows they kept Jesse alive, so he's going on to check on that shit. And once he gets in there, they check him for some reason. I didn't really understand that whole scene where it's like why the fuck did they have to check him? Like, if it wasn't for Walt, they wouldn't be rich at all. Like, he was the one who gave him all the money. He was the one who taught Todd his method, even though he didn't do a good job at all. And he's the reason why they're rich. Why the fuck are they bitching, and why the fuck are they gonna kill him? I mean, I guess they had the reasons because, like, oh, what if Walt's being tailed, or what if he went to the DA or went to the police, but that doesn't make sense because if he did go to the police, he would have been put in prison immediately. So their method is ridiculous in and of itself, but they check him, and they bring in Jesse to show that they haven't really been working together. They've been using him as a slave. And Jesse just looks like shit. Like even I like to think he looks even worse than Walt. Like, Jesse he has scars all over his face. He just looks like a hunk of shit. His hair is all nasty. He has a humongous beard like Walt. And you just feel bad for Jesse. Like, he just you don't want Jesse to die, but at the same time, it's like a dog that's been through so much shit. You just want to put him out of his misery, you know. But at the same time, you feel bad for him, especially prior shots, because before Jesse comes in, Vince shot this wonderful, beautiful, beautiful. I just love the lighting in that scene. But there's this shot of Jesse like coming in and fixing up this box, and he's just like, it's kind of going back like it's kind of like a nostalgic scene where it's like him like being an artist and him like feeling really proud with himself creating something, and he's just making this box, this simple little box in woodshop, but at the same time it's like he really thinks of himself as this person, and he wishes he could be this person, but he can't because of the horrible situation he put himself through. But when that scene ends and where the real reality comes, like that whole scene was a fantasy, and you go into the fucking reality, and it's just like such a shock that it's like you just want to cry for Jesse, because he just went through such a beautiful moment, just filming wise, that to kill it with his reality sucks. It's just a hunk of shit. It's just terrible to watch. But I also have to give Aaron Paul a lot of credit too. He did a wonderful job with Jesse. I know he was originally supposed to die a long time ago, but I think it was a right decision to keep him going, and I think it was also a great decision to keep him on, and for the finale. And as Walt is confronted with Jesse, we're back into the situation at hand. Walt attacks Jesse, and you think at the same time, like, oh, Jesse's gonna kill him because he's like, you're the fucking reason why I'm here, so fuck you. But as soon as Jesse is down on the ground, and as soon as Walt is on top of Jesse, he presses the button on that little car alarm thing that he set to his car, supposedly, that works to that little contraction that he was creating out in the desert. And as he presses the button, the fucking trunk pulls open, and the gun just opens up like total like Batman mode. Like I thought Jimmy Kimmel said that perfectly. He was like Batman there. It was like Batman. Like he just turns the fucking button and the gun just goes up. It's fucking insane moment. It's just, that gun had a lot of, I don't even know what type of gun that was, so I'm not really a gun so I don't know what the fuck it was, but that gun had a lot of fucking power to just shoot through concrete and just kill everybody in the room. Everybody died. Todd's entire gang or family, whatever the fuck they were to him, just goes out with a bang. And Todd's like the only one who's like still alive. His uncle too, but he's obviously wounded. And as soon as the gun runs out of bullets, Walt gets up, he gets the gun from the ground, and he just has this quick little moment. It's really quick. It's not really like a feeling of like bad guy versus bad guy. Or hello everybody, John Dribber 12 back here again. Sorry for a change in scenery, but my battery died, so I'm gonna just get back into the point and trying to wrap this up. Basically, Walt kills Todd's uncle, Jesse kills Todd. It basically ends like that. And Jesse is freed from his chains, finally, and off to do whatever he pleases. I think, basically, it was appropriate for something like that to happen, because Todd is like the bane of Jesse's existence, and finally having to kill the person who's been torturing him for the last several months or however long it's been. It's finally good to see Jesse freed. And the last clip prior, after the fact of this situation, Walt puts down the gun and asks Jesse to kill him, and Jesse decides against it, because not only does he figure that he's freed of the Nazis, of his meth cooking, but also he's freed of Walt. Like, I think the chains were a good metaphor. Like, regardless of physical and mental, it's really a good decision to have that scene, because it makes it look like not only is he freed from them, but he's also freed from Walt's bidding, and he decides just to let Walt be alone with his own devices. And I think it was smart to let Jesse live. Like, through all the shit he's gone through, it's like it was never his decision to do these things, and I think it was just great. It was a lovely moment with Jesse just ramming out of there with his car and just screaming and crying at the same time, simultaneously. So I have to give Vince credit, writing-wise and directing-wise, and I also have to give credit to Aaron Paul because he did a wonderful job acting that whole scene. The series ends very calmly and very, like, it just ends with Walt just walking through the meth lab that him and Jesse had created and just watching, like, his life just end there. Like, and I think Brian did a great job with that smile and just looking with praise, and I think Vince also did a good job putting in that song. I forgot the name of the song, but I think the lyrics, if you listen to that song, I think fit the scene perfectly. You know, the words just say it all, and you know, you don't really have to have Walt say anything, and Walt just passes right out to the floor and dies, and it ends with police surrounding him, and a good shot from above, and it ends to black, and I just thought it was wonderful. I thank Vince a lot of praise and credit for not going like Sopranos route or any other show route, just giving it a good ending. A lot of answers with the questions. I don't know, I can't really, there's not really much I can say. I mean, I know I'm rambling again, but as a fan, I just felt really sad for it to go, and I'm really happy to have witnessed it all. And I'm really inspired by it. You know, Breaking Bad, the story is great, the direction was great, the crew was great, the acting was great, every aspect of Breaking Bad, from its premise to its ending, is amazing, and I have to give everybody credit. Dean, Brian, Anna, Aaron, Bob, Betsy, RJ, and every other actor or actress who's been a part of the crew and cast, credit, and Vince, a lot of credit. I can't wait to see what's next with his career, but as a fan, I had to say that the finale, my personal thoughts, is amazing. It was amazing. It was epic. It was everything I could be. It was triumphant. It was crazy. It was bloody. It was intense. Like, I thought I was going to have a seizure throughout the whole thing. I was just shaking. Like, this is literally how I was shaking throughout the entire episode, because it was just so intense. But at the end of the day, it was very, very pleasing as a fan and as a filmmaker, or an aspiring filmmaker, and Breaking Bad has definitely inspired me, directing wise and writing wise, and I gotta give everybody credit because they did an amazing job. And I'm gonna end this video here with just saying that it's been amazing to watch this show.